Ever get that feeling like you're talking to a brick wall?
Mm.
Like you're trying to explain something and it's just not getting through.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I think we've all been there.
Well, today we're going to try to figure out why that happens.
Yeah.
Maybe it's not them, maybe it's us,
Yeah.
or maybe it's just like we all speak different languages
Yeah.
even when we're using the same words.
Exactly.
And to help us decode all of this, we're diving into Surrounded by Idiots by Thomas Erikson.
This book is all about personality types.
Okay, personality types. That sounds kind of familiar. Like, haven't we heard this all before?
You're right, there's tons of personality tests and frameworks out there. But what makes Erickson's approach interesting is that he goes way back, like ancient Greece.
Really? Ancient Greece.
Yep, he connects it to Hippocrates, the OG physician.
Yeah.
The first do-no-harm guy.
Right, right. Of course, Hippocrates.
Well, Hippocrates had this theory that people could be categorized into 4 different temperaments based on their humors, like blood and phlegm and stuff.
Yeah.
I know it sounds a little out there, but
Yeah, a little bit.
stick with me because Erikson takes this ancient idea and gives it a modern twist.
Okay, I'm intrigued. So how does he update Hippocrates for the 21st century?
He turns those 4 temperaments into a color-coded system. We got red, yellow, green, and blue. Each color represents a distinct personality type.
So no more bloodletting, just color coding. I like it.
Much easier on the patient.
Exactly. But let's be practical here. How does knowing these colors actually help me, like in my daily life?
Imagine you're in a meeting and you're pitching a new idea. You're super excited about it, but your colleague Sarah just shoots it down.
Sarah. Yeah, I know Sarah.
You're thinking, come on, Sarah, what's the deal? But what if you knew that Sarah was a blue personality?
Okay, what's a blue personality?
Blues are all about data. They need hard facts, detailed analysis. They're the ultimate skeptics.
So Sarah's not just being difficult. She just needs more info to get on board.
Exactly. Knowing her color gives you a strategy. Instead of taking it personally, you can adapt your approach. Maybe you present more data or address her potential concerns.
So it's less about convincing her and more about speaking her language.
Bingo. You're getting it.
Okay, I'm sold on the colors. Let's break it down. What makes a red personality tick?
Ah, the Reds.
Yeah.
They're the go-getters, the leaders, the ones who charge ahead.
Think Steve Jobs, Margaret Thatcher, bold personalities.
Exactly. They're decisive, they're ambitious, and they get things done.
They could also be a little intense, though, right? Like the ones who dominate every meeting.
True Reds are definitely driven. They thrive on efficiency and control. They want things done their way, and they want it done now.
So working with a red can be a little like riding a roller coaster.
Maybe. But if you understand their motivation, it can be a super productive ride.
So the key is to be direct and to the point. No beating around the bush.
Exactly. Reds respect that. They want to see action and results.
All right, so we've got the driven reds, but what about the more, let's say, lively personality?
Ah, you're talking about the yellows. They bring the sunshine to every room.
They're the social butterflies, the ones who can talk to anyone.
They're all about connection and communication. They love to chat, to brainstorm, to be in the spotlight.
So yellows are great for team building and morale.
Absolutely. They bring that energy and enthusiasm that can really boost a team.
But can't that energy be a little overwhelming sometimes? Like, how do you stay focused with all that chatter?
That's the challenge with yellows. They can get sidetracked easily. They might go off on tangents or get lost in the social aspect of things.
So you need to be a little more structured with a yellow.
Set clear goals, keep things moving, redirect them when they get off track.
Okay, got it. So we've got the reds, the driven ones, and the yellows, the social butterflies. Where do the more laid-back folks fit in?
That's where our greens come in. They're the calm amidst the storm.
They're the peacemakers, the ones who bring harmony to the group.
They value stability routine. They're the reliable ones you can always count on.
Like that friend who always has a plan.
Exactly.
Mhm.
Greens are all about creating a sense of order and calm. They're the glue that holds things together.
That sounds lovely, but don't greens resist change? Like, how do you get them on board with the new idea?
You need to approach them with patience and clear communication. Greens like to know what's coming. They need time to adjust.
So no surprises for a green.
No sudden changes. No last-minute chaos.
Makes sense. So we've covered reds, yellows, and greens. We're still missing one color.
Yes, we haven't talked about the blues yet. They're the deep thinkers, the analyzers.
The ones who notice every detail.
Exactly. Blues are all about precision and accuracy. They're the perfectionists.
So blues are great for quality control and catching those little errors.
Absolutely. They're meticulous and thorough. They strive for excellence in everything they do.
But wouldn't that make them slow to make decisions? Like they need to analyze everything first?
True blues can get stuck in analysis paralysis. They can overthink things and get bogged down in the details.
So patience is key with a blue.
Definitely. You need to give them the time and space to process information and come to their own conclusions.
All right, this is all making sense, but is anyone ever just one color? I feel like I see bits of myself in each of these.
You've hit the nail on the head. Most people are actually a blend of these colors.
So it's not like you're 100% red or 100% blue. It's more nuanced.
Exactly. It's like a painter's palette. You mix and blend to create something unique.
So I could be a red with some yellow tendencies.
Or a green with a dash of blue. The possibilities are endless.
And that's where things get really interesting, right?
That's where we dive into the fascinating world of color combination.
And that's exactly what we'll do next.
You won't want to miss it.
Okay, so we're diving into the color combos now.
Yeah.
This is where I think things really get interesting.
Absolutely. It's not just about being red or yellow or blue. It's about how those colors mix within each person.
Like a human kaleidoscope.
Exactly. You might have a dominant color, but then you have these other shades that add depth and complexity.
Okay, so like someone could be mostly red, but with some yellow mixed in.
That's a great example. So they'd still have that drive and that decisiveness, but they'd also be more social, more approachable.
So it's like they've got the best of both worlds.
Exactly. And knowing those secondary colors can really help you understand how someone operates.
Okay, I see that. So instead of just seeing someone as a red, I might realize they've got some blue in there too.
Exactly. And that can explain a lot about their behavior. Like maybe they're super organized, or maybe they get really hung up on the details.
Ah, so those little quirks start to make sense.
It's like having a secret decoder ring for people's personalities.
I like that. Okay, so we've got these color blends. But are there any combos that are particularly prone to clashing?
Oh, definitely. Some colors just naturally butt heads. Like imagine a red trying to work with a green.
Oh yeah, that sounds like a recipe for disaster. The red wants to charge ahead and the green wants to slow down and analyze everything.
It can be a real struggle. The red might see the green as lazy or resistant, while the green sees the red as reckless and impulsive.
It's like they're speaking different languages.
Exactly. And that's why understanding these blends is so important. It helps you bridge that communication gap.
So how do you navigate those clashes? Like how do you get a red and a green to work together?
It takes effort from both sides. The red needs to learn to slow down and be more patient. The green needs to be more flexible and open to change.
So it's all about finding that balance.
Exactly. And when you do, it can actually be a really powerful combination. The red's drive combined with the green's stability can create amazing results.
Okay, that makes sense. What about other combos? Like what happens when you mix a yellow and a blue?
That's a really interesting one. You've got the yellow's energy and enthusiasm mixed with the blue's depth and introspection.
So they'd be like the life of the party, but also super thoughtful.
They might be really creative, really insightful, but they might also struggle with expressing themselves clearly.
Ah, so they have all these great ideas, but they get lost in the details.
Exactly. They need someone to help them organize their thoughts and communicate them effectively.
Okay, so we're starting to see how these blends play out. But how do we actually use this information in our lives?
Once you start to see the colors, you can adjust your communication style accordingly.
So if I know my boss is a red-blue, I should be super prepared and to the point.
Exactly. Skip the small talk, stick to the facts, and be ready to address their concerns.
But wouldn't that feel kind of manipulative? Like I'm just trying to play to their personality type.
Not at all. It's about effective communication. It's like learning the language of different personality types.
I'm not changing who I am. I'm just learning how to speak to different people in a way they'll understand.
Exactly. And the more you practice, the more natural it becomes.
This is really eye-opening. I'm already starting to think about all the people I know and trying to figure out their colors.
It's a fun exercise, and it can really help you understand the dynamics in your relationships.
Okay, so we've covered the basics of color blends, but there's one more layer to this, right?
You're right. We haven't talked about how these colors relate to careers.
So that's where we're headed next.
Get ready to discover the fascinating link between personality types and career paths.
Okay, so we've decoded these personality types. We've explored the color blends. Now let's talk careers.
This is where it gets really practical, because certain blends seem to gravitate towards certain fields.
Like some jobs are just better suited for certain personality types.
Exactly, and understanding this can be super helpful whether you're choosing a career or building a team.
Okay, so let's start with those high-energy red yellows. Where do they typically end up?
You'll often find them in fast-paced, dynamic environments where they can really shine.
So like sales, marketing, that kind of thing.
Exactly. Roles that require strong leadership charisma, the ability to connect with people.
They're the ones out there making the deals, networking, building relationships.
Exactly. They're natural-born leaders and communicators.
Okay, that makes sense.
Oh.
What about those more detail-oriented green blues? Where do they fit in?
Green blues thrive in structured environments where precision and accuracy are key.
So more behind-the-scenes roles.
Exactly. Think research data analysis engineering fields where their analytical skills and attention to detail really shine.
They're the ones making sure everything runs smoothly, keeping things organized and on track.
Exactly. They're the backbone of any operation.
It's like a well-oiled machine with a green-blue at the helm.
I like that analogy. All right, so we've got the red yellows out there leading the charge and the green blues making sure everything's running smoothly. But what about those yellow blues?
Ah, yes, the creative, thoughtful types. Where do they find their niche?
Yellow blues are an interesting mix. They have that yellow energy and social awareness, but also the blues' depth and introspection.
So they're not just creative, they're also really thoughtful and analytical.
Exactly. And that makes them well-suited for fields that combine those strengths.
So like design writing, maybe even social work.
Exactly. Roles that allow them to express their creativity while also making a real difference in the world.
This is fascinating. I'm
Mhm.
starting to see how understanding these color blends can really help people find their right fit.
Absolutely. It can help you identify your strengths and weaknesses and figure out what kind of environment you thrive in.
So if I'm listening to this and I'm thinking, okay, I'm a green-blue, but I'm stuck in a sales job that's making me miserable, what should I do?
Well, first of all, don't panic. It's not about being trapped by your color blend,
Okay, that's good to hear.
but it might be a sign that you're not in the right role. Maybe you need to explore different options within your company or even consider a career change.
So it's about finding a job that aligns with your natural strengths and passions.
Exactly. And sometimes that takes a bit of trial and error.
This has been such an eye-opening deep dive. I feel like I have a whole new understanding of myself and the people around me.
And remember, it's not about labeling people or putting them in boxes.
Right. It's about understanding and appreciating our differences.
Exactly. And using that knowledge to communicate more effectively and build stronger relationships.
Well said.
Mhm.
Well, listeners, we've reached the end of our deep dive into Surrounded by Idiots.
Hopefully you're feeling a little less surrounded by idiots now.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Maybe now we can see those idiots as just people who speak a different color language.
And who knows, maybe with a little understanding, we could all start speaking the same language.
I love that. And that's a great note to end on. So until next time, keep exploring those colors. And remember, communication is key.
Thanks for listening, everyone.